You want to know who struggles the worst? Don't worry, I'm going to tell you anyway. It's the lower middle class. The ones with working parents with 2, 3, 4 kids that go out every day and work 50 to 60 hours a week. The ones that are right above the threshold to qualify for any SNAP or any type of other assistance. Yeah, those are the ones struggling the worst.
I think that we all collectively should just stop paying our electric bill. I don't even have time to get cute to talk about this video because this is getting out of hand. There has to be something that we collectively can do because this is ridiculous. $814 for 1 month of electric? And you. Previous $933. Balance was $0. This is a full month bill. I didn't carry a balance. Kept my thermostat down to like 68, 69. And let's go over the charges. Energy costs $519. Distribution charge $264.63. Bill stabilization adjustment $28.65. Empower Maryland charge $68.46. Facilities charge $975. $814.18. This is ridiculous. How do they expect people to be able to keep their lights on when the bill is half of my mortgage? So last year I used 4,897 kilowatts. This year I used 3,761. So please tell me why my bill is twice as much than it was last year when I've used less. For your payment, we received $400 on February 5th and $533.05 on February 20th for a total of $933.05. I'm just gonna have to start selling some.
Okay, PSA if you guys are living in Texas right now and you're going broke paying for your water usage every month. So a couple days ago, I got billed $426 for our water usage for last month. So this is after we paid $250 a month before and $90 a month before that. So when we got charged the $250, I said, oh, that's my bad. We've been watering the grass too much. We just got to cut it back. So we cut it back to 1 day a week. That was it. It was 4 and then now it's 1. So we went from $90 to $250 to now $426. And we cut back on water every single time. So I called the I guess the city, I don't know who it is, the management place. And I said, hey, like my bill's $426. Like we have 2 people living at home. Like what is going on? And they said, well, it's just through your rental company. You need to contact them and yada, yada, yada. Like he didn't really want to help me. But towards the end of the call, he said, well, I can put in a request for somebody to look at your account and make sure it was calculated correctly. And I said, well, yeah, absolutely, please do so. So he put that in and then he said, you'll get an email later today with what we found or what we're doing, yada, yada, yada. So in the meantime, he encouraged me to call our rental company and ask them what's going on. So I did. And they agreed with me that $426 is definitely out of the norm. So they suggested that I put in a maintenance request to have them come look for a leak, even though I know there is no leak. Like, it's not like our toilets run or anything, or, you know, our grass is growing outside. Like, it's dead, it's dying. Like, there's no water leaking. But I put it in anyways. But last night, I finally got an email from the energy water company, whatever, that charged me the $426 and basically said, oh, we accidentally charged you a higher rate for how much your usage was. Like, here's $337 back. My bill was $89 and they accidentally charged me $426. So just throwing it out there, if you got charged an astronomical amount for water this last month and you think it's a little fishy, go ahead and give them a call.
Why did I just spend $73.62 on gas? I always pay like $50. Oh, are you $4.69? Are you out of your fucking mind right now? Oh my gosh. Am I driving a fucking truck? Oh my god, this is a Nissan Altima. Oh I was gonna buy snacks. I didn't know I just paid 73. No, guys, this has to be a joke. Oh, I'm about to go rob the gas station at this point. The fuck? Oh my gosh. I basically spent 100. That's ridiculous. Oh my god. This is not real life. Stupid idiot car. I deadass was looking under my car thinking that the gas was like spilling out. Cause I'm like, why is it not stopping? Oh my gosh.
My house burned down and insurance companies are just scams. For context, the county that I live in the fire report that they did, which is a report done by the fire department after the incident, they estimated the damage to my house at $750,000. Almost immediately after the fire, we contacted and contracted an architect to do a feasibility study to help us figure out how much it was going to cost to rebuild the home. Their estimate was between $600,000 and $900,000, depending on options, finishes, etc. We got the first number from our large loss adjuster, who's the person who works at the insurance company and helps us figure out how much money we're going to get to do the rebuild. So remember, fire department says $750,000, architect says between 6 and 9, insurance company $258,000. Make it make sense.
This what this little Chicago kids was doing all night. I'm wondering why their parents don't know where the fuck they at, right in front of my fucking apartment. Like, this is usually where I park. Me and my neighbor got the same exact car. Like, their parents should teach them that reading is fundamental. Stay in school, kids. Because if you would stay in school, you would have known that the sticker on the window meant that this car had the upgrade and you wouldn't have been able to hotwire it anyway. So all they did was cause a bunch of unnecessary damage. And guess what? Our insurance rates are the ones that keep going up and up. Look at my shit from a few months ago. This happened in the suburbs. It could literally happen to you anywhere. And Kia is literally doing nothing about it. We're the ones that suffer. Our insurance rates keep going up and up. These parents need to get their fucking kids. That's it. That's all.
My husband and I received a medical bill in the mail yesterday, which happens a lot because we have horrible insurance. Hey, Cigna, take that. I need someone to explain this one, however, to me like I'm 5 years old, because I don't understand what the fuck is going on. I don't understand the American healthcare system as a whole, but this bill specifically, really don't understand this. Need y'all to help me get there. Let me explain what this is for. My 5-month-old daughter had a fever last month. We bring her to the doctor like any responsible parent would. They do a nose swab to test for the flu, COVID, all those things because it's cold and flu season. Good decision, right? They send it off. She's good. She's gotten none of it. The fever goes away in a few days. Great. I assume we're gonna get a bill for it because we have horrible insurance. Hey, Cigna. But do I expect to receive this bill? No. I Google it because I'm curious, how much this might cost us. Google says that the max amount in most situations that you'll pay for something like this is about $300. I was like, whoa, that's a lot of money. $300, that's a lot, but hey, it's worth it. That's our baby. Of course, we'll pay for that. No big deal. And maybe our insurance will cover a bit of that. So maybe it'll only come out to like $100. We pay for insurance. Maybe they'll do something. Get this bill in the mail yesterday, and when we open it, to our surprise, not $100, not even $300. At this point, I would be happy to see $300. It was not $300. I want you to take a moment to think about it and guess. What would you assume a cotton swab up the nose would cost? Take a guess. Your guess was $984. I don't know why you guessed such a specific number, but you'd be right. Now, this is the part I need explaining. Why does a nose swab that when you Google it says it won't cost nearly $1,000 cost $1,000? Hey, what the fuck is going on? What do you mean by that? $1,000 for a Q-tip up a nostril? What? Sitting here thinking, why do we have insurance? Why do we go to the doctor? If we went to urgent care, this would have been $50. $50. Done. Oh, speaking of insurance, do you want to know how much they covered? If you guessed like the majority, you would be wrong. If you guessed basically nothing, you'd be right. They covered less than half. We owe $443.27 for a flu nose swab. Why do we have insurance? I need somebody to explain this bill to me. Like, how does that make any sense? How does it make any sense to charge $1,000 for a nose swab? And how does it make any sense that we're paying for insurance that covers less than half of that? at a loss because I don't know what the fuck's going on. You work in healthcare and you want to help me understand this, please. Also, if somebody wants to send me $443.27 so we can pay this, that'd be great too. I don't know what to do. Do I call them and like be a Karen and be like, hey, do you know how much gas costs? Like, I don't have an extra $443 laying around to just give you for a nose swab. I don't know. If anyone knows, help me understand this.
I was asking my doctor how much my blood work that I try to get a couple times a year might cost if I don't have insurance. And she was like, well, let me look up the prices. She's looking at the price list. She was like, okay, the full metabolic panel is $495. And I was like, okay, that's like $500 is about what I would be looking to pay per month for insurance for the like benefit of having like a $9,000 deductible. So fuck that. Anyway, but I was like, okay, maybe that makes sense. This other one's $395, etc. And so she's like, yeah, so the 3 blood tests altogether would be $13. Excuse me? Yeah, she was like, yeah, we just charge what LabCorp charges. So LabCorp, it costs $13 to do 3 blood tests, 2 of which are full panels. One is a full metabolic panel. It costs $5. What the fuck is insurance doing?
I have been financially not doing great. I am a nurse. Even though I am a nurse and I make good money, I don't have money, which is the sad part because of the choices that I've made still currently and the choices that I've made like previously, like from a couple of years. I am in credit card debt, and it's this unhealthy cycle that I have been putting myself into, and this just relationship with money has just never been something that I was talked about. Lifestyle creep is definitely a thing, and especially when you are trying to make a brand for yourself, when you're aspiring to do something that you want to do, and content creation has been something that I've always wanted to do. Being a YouTuber has always been something I want to do. I've always just wanted to be on camera. I've always just wanted to make a name for myself, whether it be like through content creation, being a YouTuber, being an entrepreneur, like whatever it may be. I always felt like I was meant to do something other than nursing. And so I think for years I have been continuously like, you know, going with the trends and like, you know, buying whatever everyone else buys so that like I can post about it and like, you know, be seen. But then I get caught up with imposter syndrome of not being enough. For in order for me to become someone, I guess I was influenced by everyone else around me. So if I bought the next best thing, or if I like looked a certain way by buying these clothes, then I was gonna make an image, a brand for myself. And that turned into like so many like dumb purchases like along the way that I'm like literally paying for now. And don't get me wrong, I have been trying to get myself together when it comes to my finances, because obviously like I have money to pay my bills, I have money to like pay down the minimums on my credit cards, but a lot of the times I don't take into account like, money like for myself and money to, you know, just enjoy life. And most of the time like I'm struggling to even do that. So I think I've reached my breaking point. Enough is enough. Like living paycheck to paycheck, living with like the credit card debt and like the afterpays and everything, like I'm done. Like I'm so done. I want to be financially free. Like I don't want to have to worry about like, you know, if I'm gonna be able to eat. I just don't want to be in this cycle anymore, because it's like I want to travel, I want to buy a house, I want to get married, like all of these things. Like it's just like it's not possible until I take this step of paying off my debt. And not just paying off my debt, but like being financially literate and just understanding you can't always have your wants. You have to prioritize like your needs. And sometimes like I rationalize like my needs, my wants, to make them seem like their needs. And I just need to get out of this toxic like mindset. Like it sucks. And I'm not making this an excuse, but I guess like impulsivity and like shopping addiction is part of ADHD, and sometimes I hate it. Like sometimes I like get mad at myself for having this ADHD and is the reason why I'm in this situation. But at the same time, it's like I need to remember, what can I do now to just like get myself out of this hole. So the reason I'm crying on the internet is to show people that, like, seriously, like, do not, like, I understand that, you know, I'm trying to be an influencer, I'm trying to be a content creator, and that goes with like promoting products, but like literally live within your means and only buy like if you have the money for it. Stop Klarnaing, stop affirming, stop afterpaying, like stop just swiping the credit card, because like, yeah, it may be fun like in the moment, but literally you will regret it if that stuff like just racks up and it's like years down the line and you're still paying for that purse that you bought like 4 years ago. Life is too freaking short for us to be paying money on stuff that we bought like a couple years ago. Life is too short for us to be paying for materialistic things. Instead, we should be paying for experiences, for like adventures and whatever it may be, like for new life like chapters. And I don't know, buying the next best thing is not worth your mental health. Buying the next best thing is not worth the emotional and financial burden that you're going to experience if you can't pay it off right away. If you're watching this and you are also in the same boat, like, you are not alone. This stuff is hard to navigate, and not a lot of people like talk about the realness about being in credit card debt or like even student loans. Like, I don't even want to think about like the student loans that I have and like my car loan. Like, that's another thing in itself. But if you're watching this all the way through, the one thing that I can say is that if you're going into 2025 with debt, specifically credit card debt, please make a plan to like get out of it, because I know I am, because I can't do it anymore. It's not cute anymore to just put it on the credit card or like I'll do some installment payments. It's not cute anymore. You're gonna continue these habits, and it's gonna take you so much longer to, one, pay for it, but two...
Hi there. Let's talk about this number right here. This is how much debt I have. I'm about $180,000 in debt from both federal and private student loans, my car loan, credit cards. That is all of my debt. I am 24 years old. I have a bachelor degree, so not even a master's. I have one minor, no focus in my major, as well as an honors degree, which did require some extra credits. So that is where this number is coming from. This is on top of the little amount of scholarships that I was awarded, so money I didn't have to pay back. This is everything I owe. Everything I owe. I came out of college in June of 2024, and I did not look at the debt that I was accruing. I took out loans as I needed them each year for college, and I didn't really think about what the percentages meant because I was never taught financial literacy. I didn't think about what the realistic number was going to be that I would have to owe each month on these loans, and they are astronomical, I will say. Sallie Mae, which is my private loan creditor, wants $1,800 a month from me. That's just Sallie Mae. I am right now in a grace period for 12 months where I only have to pay $1,033 to Sallie Mae. I would not be able to afford the $1,800 a month if I wasn't able to get it down for 12 months. I don't know what I'm going to do in 11 months, but this is just me talking about it. On top of that, I owe about $287 to the federal government per month. That's not changing. And I owe $202 for my car payment, and that's not even including the $150 or $60 that I owe each month for the car insurance or my credit card payments. That doesn't include any of that. So, alone, Sallie Mae wants $1,800 from me. I graduated college, as I just mentioned, in June of 2024, so this last year, and I wanted to just have a nice summer because I have been doing school for the last 5 years, and I've been taking summer courses full-time every year, and as well as working full-time. So this is also like the debt I have, and I was working full-time during the summers, and I was working part-time during the school years. So that's all, like, I still had no money, like, and I had to take out loans. So, being 23 years old, almost 24 when I graduated, I decided that I was just going to get a part-time job so that way I could only work part-time during the summer and kind of enjoy the summer, because I had been doing over full-time in schools and working and had a role in my sorority, and I decided that I was just going to work part-time. And if I had looked at my loans fresh out of college, which I highly recommend you do if you have loans, do not wait until they are due to start looking at them. I decided to do that and made barely any money, but I didn't have any loan payments at the time during the summer. And I wish that I had started making the payments as soon as possible on those loans while I had them. So I worked part-time. Around November, my best friend was like, hey, I have loans. You have loans. Have you looked at what your loan payments are going to be? And I was like, shh, can't be that bad, right? Wrong. I looked at my loan payments and I cried. Because I was not taught financial literacy. And I didn't understand how a credit company for student loans could charge me $1,800 if I wasn't making that much. I thought, okay, there must be something similar to the federal aid where you can do it based on income. No, they don't offer that. So I would also look into that before you take out student loans if they're going to offer income-based or anything. They don't offer that. The best I could do was bring it down to $1,000. And then I was struggling to find a full-time job. I applied for like 3 months to over probably 500 jobs before I finally found one. This is the catch, that doesn't even require my degree. I found a job that paid $20 an hour, 40 hours a week, and it was degree recommended, not required. So I felt very grateful for that opportunity. I just don't understand why companies and jobs want you to have stepping stones but don't consider your degree to be the stepping stones or the foundation for working for those companies, and they want to pay less money for more years of experience. It doesn't make sense. It's really hard to find a job right now, like really, really hard. Anyway, flash forward, I'm doing this and I'm able to make my bare minimum payments, but that doesn't matter because in 12 months, I'm still going to owe $1,800 bare minimum on the Sallie Mae loans, and I cannot afford that. And I make $41,600 a year before taxes. Now, flash forward, I'm at this job for a couple months and I start to struggle really badly with my mental health. I'm talking like can't get out of bed except to go to work, really struggling, losing passion for everything, falling into a mix of, I would say, seasonal depression because it's winter and I struggle with that a lot, and also depression because my life is not going the way that I want it to go. And that is a hard thing to grasp. And also debt is really hard. It's a hard thing, and like a lot of people struggle with it. So it's not just me coming on here. Like I'm very grateful and I am privileged, and there's a lot of things that are going well in my life, but like that debt is still looming over my head, and that is a real thing. I decided that this job was not worth staying at any longer because of how much it was impacting my mental health. I was crashing out all the time and I really tried to stick it out, but I was just really starting to see no purpose in my life, even though it was helping me make those bare minimum payments. I have since put in my 2 weeks and I'm going back to 2 part-time jobs that I've calculated out will make the same amount of money I make at this full-time job that I supposedly got with my degree. So I'm still going to make $41,600 and be able to make my bare minimum payments. But I am really worried about what I'm going to do in 11 months when I have to owe $1,800 just on Sallie Mae. I am putting this out there as like kind of a way to warn people about looking into what your loans look like. Teach yourself financial literacy, but I'm also putting this out there to ask, what's the best case scenario? I don't really know what to do, and I've been trying to do research. I don't want to get sued by Sallie Mae. It's hard to find a job. I don't really want people coming out here being like, well, just go find a higher paying job. You were silly to drop down to 2 part-time jobs. That is not the advice I'm looking for. I'm looking for a best way to knock out my loans and start paying them off faster with what I have. I'm making the bare minimum payments and a little bit more, And that's basically all of my income, and I'm looking for other ways to make extra money. So if I have to start DoorDashing as well, I'm going to go back to a job where I'll also be making tips. All of that's going to go towards it. What is the best way? Should I attack the ones that are high interest first? Should I go after the ones that are the smallest? Like, I'm genuinely curious, best way to knock out these loans, because I'm trying to be debt free. There was a time in my life where all I wanted was to make a ton of money. I don't care. Financial freedom to me looks like being debt free. I would love, and I'm not saying this is possible, but I don't think it's impossible either. I would love to be out of debt by the time I'm 30. That's 6 years from now. I have a lot of debt. I don't know how possible that is, but I would have to put all my money towards it. I've not made good financial choices. Like, I'm literally going on a trip in April. Like, I'm not saying that I'm perfect or that, but that's aside the case. That is aside the case. The point is, I can make the bare minimum right now, and I know that I could make more if I need to. Despite going on this trip in April, we don't need to talk about that. I'm still making choices, but I want to find out a way that I can get out of debt. I'm trying to find all these extra ways to make money. I'm going to keep probably eventually in the future apply to jobs, but it's just, this is the reality of it. It's just like, it's not like I'm magically going to make more money to pay off this debt. I am where I'm at. So I don't know. I'm looking for help, and I'm also trying to give some advice, but you should really educate yourself on financial literacy before you decide to take out loans. And if you have the opportunity to go to community college before going to a university, I would highly recommend doing that to save yourself as much money as possible. Because at the end of the day, as fun as the memories were, and I'm so grateful for my friends and the people I met, and they are obviously priceless. Knowing what I know now, I don't know if I would ever put myself in that position to let myself get into $180,000 worth of debt over school. So my credit's also shit, by the way, because of all the loans I've had to take out. So that is my story. And yeah, I just kind of came here to talk about it. I feel like it's important to talk about. And a lot of times I think we're kind of ashamed of it, but that's really it.
None of these bills tells the war story on its own. A higher grocery bills, a more expensive insurance renewal, or an increase in utility cost might seem manageable in isolation. But many middle-class Americans are describing something different. Several every day, expenses rising at the same time. That's why this conversation resonates with so many viewers. They are not centered on luxury spending or major financial mistake. They're about the ordinary cost of living that people once considered predictable. While every household situation is different, the growing numbers of similar stories suggest that many families are paying closer attention to their monthly budget than they did in the past. Whether this change are temporary or part of a long-term shift, one thing is becoming clear. The bills that once blended into the background are now shaping financial decisions, family routine, and how many Americans think about their future. Thank you. I will see you in the next video. God bless.